Hey everyone and welcome back. This is Lucid and we are hopping back into our game with Sceleria. I just had the turn post and I recorded the other episode this morning. So this is hot off the press. We're on turn 51. And I had promised a big episode for you last turn as it looked like we were potentially going to kill Satis, which if you look at the bottom you can see we did. And it looked like we may have a big battle with Ys'ian, but we'll get to that in a moment. We have empowered ourselves in Astral, and this is really important. Astral 4 is such a key magic path, and this is going to get us all the way up into the upper echelons of Astral with our very high Astral income. We've also cast Revive King. We found 2 magic sites in the Evergreen Forest. This is an Air 1 and another Air 1 field. So 2 more air gems, which is going to be very good now that we can do Fog Warriors a lot. That's basically where these gems are probably going to go, in Mass Flight. Next, we have some battles. So Small C, this is where I was trying to catch Ys's army. So let's see if that is successful. And you can see we did catch them, indeed. And here we go. So if we look at it, I think this is his full army. This is pretty close to... I mean, each one of these rows is 10. Yeah, this is pretty close to 70 dudes, right? Because this is 1, 2, 3, 4... Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, and so that's 14 in this row, 14 in this row, probably 10. Yeah, I think this is the whole army. And then for mage support from him, we have this sorceress who is geared up to cast most likely summon water elemental. This person here, this princess who is probably going to be blessing. We have this one here who is probably going to be doing summon earth power and then legions of steel. And then this one here who is going to probably be blessing along with this druid who's probably going to be doing legions of steel. Summoning earth power here. I'm not sure why. I don't know what she'll be dropping, but we'll see. Right now she summoned water power, so she's water 4 right now. On our side, you can see we brought a slew of mages. We have our thaumaturgs who are wearing Shambler skin armor. And then, importantly, we have our Nature Mage with the Crystal Matrix, so she can enter into communions with a little rabbit foot in case they try to shoot her with Seeking Arrow or something like that. And our Mound King's in the back. And this is about 1,400. I think I had said 1,400. I think it's actually 1,300. Yeah, and so that first this. Now, this army has killed armies like this before. The difference is I'm bringing major mage support. It can kill it if I only put up Rigor Mortis, but I do not believe it will be able to kill it with everything. And before, as context, I just had 1 mage on top with about 400 troops, which would only be enough to take that castle, but would not have been enough to take this army. So, on our side, we are casting Rigor Mortis, Power of the Spheres, and Mass Protection. And there it goes. So there is Power of the Sepulchre, which makes our attack not totally suck, because we got the underwater penalty, but then Unholy Power is a buff. And this is really important, because trying to hit these guys, if my attack was 4 or lower, it would be 8. And trying to hit a Glamored 25 defense unit with 8 attack, it's like a 1% chance. So it doesn't happen very much. And there goes Mass Protection. So let's take a look at what Mass Protection does real quick. We've got this guy who before would have just been, I think like 12 protection or something, maybe 10. It jumps up to 16, which is very respectable. And if their equipment gets rusty, which I think some of it can, actually the guys who already have, I thought some of these guys can get, okay. Some of these guys who have the rusty equipment, they won't be affected as much by if their equipment gets knocked off. But you can see these Princeps, the Emorian-flavored Long Dead, they have 19 protection, in addition to a tower shield. So they are much more durable. And I will resume the battle. It's probably the biggest battle we've had so far in the game. In terms, because this is his Doom stack colliding with essentially my Doom stack. We cast Life After Death, or we're casting that, and we're casting Friendly Currents. Okay, Friendly Currents did go down. Let's take a look at the... Actually, here, we're going to go back real quick. I'm sorry. I'm going to show you what their encumbrance is without Friendly Waters, and we'll look at it after. So, encumbrance here. Spellcasting encumbrance, you can see for them, is very high. I'm actually not sure why it's so high. Normally, it's twice that of the normal encumbrance, so it should be like 8. But anyway, you can see it's 15 here, which is a bit surprising for spellcasting. So I'm not totally sure what's going on there. I feel like that's almost kind of a bug. But, you know, you look at it, and this is 5 encumbrance, the Bronze Hauberk. And this is 1 encumbrance, so that should get you to 6. But then somehow their encumbrance here is listed as 4. I don't actually know this math. If anybody knows it, that would be pretty helpful. But if we do the math on our own and we don't accept this encumbrance of 3, like basic encumbrance minus 1, we do the math on our own, we get 6, right? And 6 times 2 would be 12. We're still not up to 15 for spellcasting encumbrance. Anyway, not sure what's going on there, but if we look at these guys too, you can see their encumbrance here is melee encumbrance is 4, and I think that goes up 1 as they cast. Here, I'm going to skip forward to where we were, and I think that goes up with the casting of Friendly Currents. Okay, and there goes Friendly Currents. We'll look real quick. Yeah, so... Oh, you know what I think? I think it's adding to encumbrance. So, what's very weird here, I think maybe this is how the mechanic is broken. Yeah, I think this is how it's broken. So this actually may be a bug that I'm realizing now as we do this recording, and I'm kind of talking you through it. So the encumbrance here is 5, the encumbrance here is 1, so their encumbrance should be 6. They may also have encumbrance built into the unit chassis. I'm not sure about that. But then on top of it, there's an underwater penalty of 1, so that gets us to 7, which gets us very close to the 15 that we saw for spellcasting encumbrance before. But it seems, because the way this spell is supposed to work, all those aided by the spell... Wait, who the hell cast Friendly Currents? Did they cast it? I don't think they cast it. I know, I went to cast it. Oh, they cast it first. Okay, so this is interesting. So, I'm going to cast it, but I'm probably going to cast it later, and mine should override his, and only 1 can be active. So that's actually really interesting. Okay, so now underwater they have reduced encumbrance. So they get the -1, the -2. So they're down to, which should be 2 melee encumbrance. And it's going to actually increase their defense also. I don't see it here, but I think it does. Oh, maybe they can just move farther and have less encumbrance. But what is about to happen is I am going to cast... I just cast Friendly Currents. And... oh, they stack. Wait a second. I thought one canceled the other out. Okay, so it's not like mine overrode his. Instead, I just, we both have them in effect, and it's as if there's none. So that's a little interesting. We can see his banishment dropping. I then cast anti-magic, and this is going to dramatically improve my magic resistance and reduce the damage from banishment. Rigor Mortis is in effect. One thing that's really important here is normally priest spells don't do much in terms of encumbrance, but here their spellcasting encumbrance is so high, and I don't know why it's this high. I don't know what the math is that gets us here, but anyway, it's super high, and this is causing them to fatigue out. I thought for a minute it might be related to friendly currents or something like that, but it doesn't appear so. It does not appear so. Yeah, the friendly currents bonus just totally canceled out. So these guys are almost fatigued out, and they're only casting priest spells, which normally doesn't fatigue people out. These guys are not fatigued out yet, but you can see they're getting a fair amount of fatigue. 45, 80, so it's not very normal, the fatigue distribution. Yeah. And then the banishments are dropping. The other things that have come out is Light of the Northern Star, which I probably didn't even really need. I was hoping maybe it might make my guys cast Enslave when we go off script, and I do have Shark Attack out. So as I damage them, we will see little sharks come in. Shark Attack is actually not very good against Ys because it relies on doing damage to troops. So it's very good if you are bringing large chaff armies or if you're fighting large non-undead chaff armies. But in the case of very hard-to-hit elites, Shark Attack doesn't do much, but I still wanted to cast it anyway because these sharks can spawn behind their casters, and that will allow me to potentially surround them and kill them in a very long fight. And it also adds HP to the battlefield, so if it was a very close fight, my guys wouldn't rout. You can see, this is the value of attack rear. If I had everybody on attack closest, they would all cluster around these guys. And I think I would win, but it would be pretty tricky. Because as you can see, we're not doing much damage yet to the front line. We have popped some glamours, you can see up here. But back here, you can see we just killed somebody here, one of the sorceresses, and we are gathering around this one here. And they are totally fatigued out now. So they're going to be very easy to hit because of the fatigue. And you can see this one just died. This one's probably going to die. Yep. And our troops are just pouring around the sides. And yeah, it's not looking good for Ys right now. This is not what you want to see. And this, I'll just take a moment here to say, this is one of the real problems with nations that rely heavily on cap sacreds, cap-only sacreds. This army is essentially all of the sacreds that Ys could produce. And so far this army has been mopping up all my stuff because it's really strong. But once you make up a difference in research, like I have now, I have a ton of research, all the cool things that made these guys really good, like their high defense and their good protection, like my troops have better protection than they do, and I have a bunch of cheap kind of chaff units. So that huge military advantage they had is starting to kind of wane, and anything that we kill here is very difficult for them to replace. So if you pick a nation that's going to rely on cap-only sacreds, you have to play very conservatively, because if you won... Like, I've lost countless battles against Ys, and his troops are about to rout because we just killed their leaders. Okay, there we see the armies have routed. So now his guys get a big defense penalty, routing -4, so they're now at only 17 defense, a very meager 17 defense. Yeah, some of them still at 20, even after harassment and routing. Yeah, that's kind of funny. But yeah, I've been able to afford losing several fights, and he really cannot afford to lose any big fights. So killing this army, which it is very clear right now that I'm about to do, is going to be mostly a death knell for Ys. There's no way to come back from this. This is all game, all of his recruitment, all game, all into one army. And he had to get these guys grouped up, because if he started splitting them up, we were seeing that they were dying. And certainly if he sent in half these many, they would die. So I kind of, because of how I was rating him, with a good distribution of medium-sized armies, he was forced to deathball, which made my rating even more effective. But I took losses. But eventually we kind of have this big battle here where even if I lost this, I would have been able to have another one like this in a few turns, and even the attrition, because I wouldn't have lost this one without him taking some casualties. Even the attrition would have eventually bled him dry. But as soon as he loses one of these major battles, there's no way for him to recover. And I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. And this is why Ys is actually a really difficult nation to play, because you have to essentially kind of avoid all these traps where you could lose all your sacreds. And like that, the Ys'ian army, which has so long kind of routed us, we have finally destroyed. Meanwhile, there's a battle in Ys, and I think this is his pretender. Yeah, his pretender is coming in. Now, this is really weird, because this one skeleton I left by a dude who was coming to attack Ys, and it seems they missed each other. Normally there's a collision, and if you have two armies moving at each other, there will definitely be a battle. The only question is, which of those provinces will the battle be in? And for whatever reason now, it seems that there was not a battle. I don't know if pathfinding took my guy around Ys, so that Ys was free to march in, because I think that would have killed his commander too and been even more of a death knell. If Ys was going to deathball, he may have considered taking his pretender with him just to drop some big battlefield-wide buffs, so that maybe they would have had a better chance in that last engagement. But it would have been tricky, because then he truly does lose everything when his pretender dies. We have a battle here. This was his army that was coming in from the north and pushing me out. And then we have a battle here where I'm basically raiding some of his stuff, and I win. And if you recall, so this is a battle in the fortress of Smallsea. I had moved a large group in to potentially defend against an attack. And then I had my large group, which was already here, but only had one mage, this one right here, commanded to... I had all the troops at the back, so that if I lost troops, there would probably be troops at the front, which were troops that were moving in from other provinces. And then this army, which was already in that province, I commanded to storm the fort, and so they're doing that here. And they will not have any trouble with this. Just going to speed it up. They have a sage back here and one druid, and that is not enough to do anything. And we're just going to storm through, and there they go. So this really is an end to the proud people of Ys. We have a battle here in Satis, which I will go ahead and show you. So, yeah, I sent, if you recall the end of last episode, I was saying I'm sending this group into Satis, even though there's probably not a good reason to, because I'm going to dom kill them this turn. But I kind of want to see what they have in here. And there truly were a lot of Marshmasters. You can see all these guys. And I don't know what they would... Like, they could have Horde of Skeletoned and blocked the gates for a long time, and then other ones of them could have done Dust to Dust or Witherbones or some horrible stuff. And that could have killed a lot of my dudes. And then they also probably could have dropped Foul Vapors, which I think, given enough time, would kill a few of my guys. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to see this, and it will probably come at the cost of all these undead, though I think my Mound King may live. Okay, so he runs, and then these guys die. And this is kind of the problem. You see right here how this is one of the beautiful things about Skelly spamming in a fort situation. You can totally block off the gate. So even though I have a million skeletons, I can't really do anything. And I don't think in this particular army I had a way to cast Mass Flight, which would have evaded all of that. So, yeah. Doesn't matter now because, as you see at the bottom, the god of Satis has been permanently vanquished. At the end, his dominion did not touch a single province, and his life force died within his dominion. Or died with his dominion. So, yeah, it's actually funny. Talking about dom kill. If you play Micklin and you don't, and you get a bad event on turn 1, it's actually, you can dom kill you. I think that happened to me once. You can dom kill yourself, like turn 1, if you get a bad event. It's kind of funny. But anyway, we dom killed him the old-fashioned way, getting on top of his fort and preaching. And one of the real reasons we were able to do this is Man had been doing a pretty extensive stealth preacher campaign against Satis in hopes of dom killing him. Now, Man thought he would get the spoils to himself, but as you can see, Agartha killed Man, so there was nothing for Man to have. Yet, that definitely left Satis's dominion very weak, so that we can capture it. So if you look here, this is Satis. You can see the fort has an Indy flag. And what that should mean is that all of his troops are now dead. So all I really have to do is storm the castle now with one guy, and I'll take it. I do not believe the Indies will actually, or the army should actually be in there. And my war with Satis is effectively won now. It's really a formality. Now, I could take some losses as I finish it out, but before Ys kind of could have held on, they could have scrapped around, maybe killed some mages, killed an army, and made some kind of resurgence when somebody else went to war with me. Dreams of that have now passed, so there's not much that Ys can do. And while we were kind of just raiding and causing trouble before, we are now going to, because of this great battle we just had, we're going to go ahead and put the nail in the coffin. So it's going to mean a few things. One is we're going to take this fort. To take this fort, I needed some mage support. I can't just throw my dudes at it. So we're going to have the Mountain Kings charge in. This guy, actually, I need to script him. He's going to be doing a little Power of the Spheres, a little Rigor Mortis, and a little anti-magic action. And what is he? Oh, he's Death 3, so he can actually do Drain Life and stuff after that, which will be kind of funny. So we'll put him actually up here towards the front where he can do that. And that should work. Now, I have a decision to make. I do not have a nap with Marignan. We are obviously... I was worried about him attacking me. You can see he did not attack me, which is good, because if I lost this battle, it could have been really bad. I would have lost all my mages and my gear, and if I lost this gear, it would have been a while before I could go underwater again. But he didn't attack me, and so anyway, my fortress is now up. So I'm going to be putting a temple here now that this fort is safe. I was really not sure whether I would be able to get it up, and I'm going to be upgrading it. I already have a lab, so I technically could pop out... Oh, no, I can't. I need a temple. Yeah, so now I'm basically... I think I'm going to attack Marignan. I don't know how long it will be. But I think I should go ahead and make my move. I'm going to be at a huge research advantage for the next probably year over everyone else, except maybe Marignan. And I would like to go ahead and take advantage of that. I think given enough time, everybody's going to gang up on me. The only person, like if I were to attack Abyssia, Marignan would attack me. But if I attack Marignan, then Abyssia may stay quiet. Same thing with Agartha. I think they will want to see, like, if I'm decisively winning against Marignan, they may decide to attack me. But if I decisively win against Marignan very, very, very quickly, it may be too late. Because once I've gobbled up a bunch of Marignan's lands, yeah, it's not really going to matter if they attack me, because if they join their forces and attack, I'm already going to have about half the world. And when somebody has half the world, it's very hard for everybody else to scrape things together and attack. Especially when that person has a large research advantage, as I will. So, I think we want to attack. I don't know if this is the right turn. I think it may be. And I think we can attack... I don't think I can do deep raiding, no. It was really funny, when Dominions 5 first came out, I was really worried that, like, undead squads and squads of cavalry could run through road provinces and do deep raiding, like move into here. Fortunately, that's not the case. So they did the math right. I was like kind of freaking out about that, and people were like, hey, chill out, dude. So, you can see our income is quite staggering, and it's only going to get better, especially once we take Ys, and there's a ton of unrest in the ocean, but we will be getting rid of that. We did kind of screw ourselves a little bit with the pillaging we did. And I think we probably would have still killed Ys'ian about the same time. But I wasn't really expecting to be killing him this soon. I think I was expecting to lose a few more fights. So, and the pillaging may have deterred him from taking a lot of this land back, because it wasn't really worth it, because I'd already pillaged it. But we'll see. I mean, all the pillaging at best, maybe it prevented him from getting 5 or 6 more Movark Knights, but I don't even know if that would have made a difference. Anyway, I could afford to lose it, and it was kind of maybe an insurance policy if this war with Ys dragged out a long time. So I think we're going to attack here. And what I'm thinking we'll do is we'll attack with enough people to definitely kill PD. I don't think they'll die. Like this, maybe. And if they get on top and they move an army out, then I will come in with my big army the turn after, maybe? I could do that. This is going to be tricky. Well, I don't know. Maybe we wait one turn. Just one turn. And that will give me enough to... There's a few things I can do here. One is if I can get on top of this fort, and I can break one turn crack this fort, then I will be in very good position to take this, because there will only be mages in there. And I think they're mostly witch hunters, which are astral. So they may be able to kill me. I think I have to do like a very early rain, and that may mess up his firestorm script. I'm gonna need Gift of Flight, because he'll probably just sit behind here, make fire elementals, and do firestorm. Not sure. I think we're gonna hold off. I think next turn we attack Ys. Yeah, next turn we attack Ys. This turn we wait. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna basically move this big army. Where are you going? You're gonna come back here with the main group. We're gonna move these guys who are going to probably... Well, let's think about it. There's a few Movark Knights. I think you're gonna stick with me, actually. You're gonna come up here. This will be my group that's gonna kind of fight the big fight. Don't I have somebody here with the Claim of Pearls? Okay, this guy. And he's a little low on death gems. Which actually is fine. I think he's just gonna have 3. I'm gonna get rid of this. Who here came in with life after death? Was it this guy? Friendly currents I don't necessarily need. This guy must have been the one. Did he have life after death? Okay, he did. I think he... Okay, so these guys are coming up here. These guys who I've taken all of the undead off are going to run back. Probably here, actually. How many undead do we have here? We've got a lot, but probably not 4 units worth. So I think we're going to split these guys up. These guys are going to come here. Yeah, we're going to attack here with this guy. He's got 1 HP left. We'll just see what he's doing here. Well, I don't know. That will actually give away an attack next turn. I don't think I want to. I think we'll just have him... Well, he was going to make an undead. Now he won't. This guy, I think... I don't know if I really need him. Yeah, I don't think so, but we might do it anyway. So I think this guy's going to come here along with a few of his friends. You'll notice I have a Solus. This is one of my... For some reason, only 1 Thaumaturg died. I'm not sure kind of how that happened, but it did. And he's not going to be doing this. He will be doing... Oh, he doesn't have... Yeah. He'll site search this guy. He may need a couple... I don't want to give anybody pearls. Do I have... I don't think I do. Whatever, we're gonna run here. We're gonna way overkill this. And we've got tons of dudes to give these guys. And with that, we will raid next turn. I've definitely got another squad here. Oh, do I? Maybe not. This is probably going to be a much better candidate to make Mound Kings in, so I think we're going to make 2 more. And I don't know how this is going to work. What I do know is I definitely want Gift of Flight here, or Mass Flight, and to do that I'm going to need one of these fine gentlemen here with air access, who I seem to have sent all in the wrong direction because I'm so good at this game. I don't see anybody with air. Oh, here's one. Okay. So he's going to come down here. We want to attack everybody from the same direction. We have our water person. And we're going to have a big battle here. Now, I could do it this turn. See, I think I want to, actually. Because next turn, he could put up a castle, and then I'm not always certain when we're going to have our fight. I have to actually roll the dice, which I don't like doing. Like here, I know we'll have a fight if I move people in. Do we do it? I think we do it. I'm going to pause and get this script set up.